Hello! In this lesson, we'll focus on placing the decorations across the scene. We'll start from this area. I would like to have the console with some accessories on it between two sofa sets. This is our model, so you will be able to download it as well. I put the link to it below the video. Anyway, I will merge this into the scene. Let's position it somewhere in between these two sets. Now I will apply the materials to it. Let's isolate the doors and the bar counter. I will use the wood material from the door to the top of the console and the goldish metal to the legs. Let's adjust the mapping. We need to adjust the mapping for the legs as well. Let's add the UVW map modifier. Okay, that looks fine. These legs are instances, so we don't have to copy the modifier. Okay, now let's add the table lamps on the top of the console. I will copy the model to the main scene. You'll find the link to it below the video as well. Let's position the lamp on the side of the console. I will also replace the material to match our design better. This is a model from Viry Materials. I will convert it to Corona first. Okay, and as the main material, we'll use the goldish metal from our scene. Let's move the material up and plug the metal into slot 1. Let's check the mapping. Looks fine. Let's add the light to this at once. I will use Corona disc light. We can increase intensity as 25 won't be strong enough. And copy the lamp on another side of the console. Let's add the lights to the new light layer. We can call it Table Lights. Move them closer to the center and let's start interactive rendering. Let's copy the orange color and increase intensity. We can turn off some options to make sure it won't cause issues in other cameras. I will move the lights down slightly. Okay, now I will use this bars tool and position it along the bar. I put a link to it below the video as well. Let's copy it to the scene. Now I will apply the materials. We'll use velvet material from armchairs and goldish metal for the legs. Mapping actually looks good. We don't have to adjust it. Here, I will adjust the direction of the mapping to be horizontal. We can use the UVW X-Form modifier for this. Add the models to the correct layers. And now, we can copy the stools around. Don't forget about rotating them a little bit to differentiate the position to make it look more natural. Okay, cool. Now we can add some plants. We chose this dry plant set from 3D Sky. I put the link to it below the video. Here we go. This is our set. Let's group the flowers and we can start from this one and place them on the table. Okay, the scale of the flowers is way too big. Let's scale them down. Adjust the position to the coffee table. Copy on another side. Let's rotate one of them to add some variety. Now we will copy this around the other tables. Remember to rotate some of them to avoid making them look the same. By the way, let's select all the flowers and add them to the accessories layer. Okay, now we can copy the flowers on the other tables. The same for the tables next to the sitting in the corner. Now we will add the other flowers. We can start from this area in the corner. We'll create different sets from these plants. I will start with these 3 ones. Let's adjust the pivots and position them in the corner. I will adjust the scale as well. Now let's work on another set. Adjust the scale and the position. Okay, so here we have everything. Now another side. Let's copy the models and place them on the console. Now let's copy and adjust the sets on the left-hand side as well. Even though we cannot see this in the camera, let's position them roughly as we will see them in other views. And one more set here as well. Okay, let's start interactive rendering. Bars tools looks nice. Flowers looks good as well. Okay, now we'll add some pillows. I put the link to them below the video as well. I will use only 2 of them. Let's convert it all to editable poly and attach the needed pillows. Copy the pillows to the scene. Let's center the pivots. I will apply the velvet from the armchair to the pillows. Let's isolate the sofa and place the pillows. Okay, now let's work on another sofa. It's important to change the position and the scale a bit to add some variations. Remember, small details that make a huge difference. Okay, and at the end, we'll add some pillows on the sittings in the back. And I think it will be good to have one extra pillow on one of the sofas to create more variation. Okay, let's see how it looks. Cool, it adds life to the image. Accessories are a great way to convey a style and story for the image, but also add something extra to the visualizations. Okay, in the end, we'll add the carpet. I will use this one from Polygon. I put the link to it below the video. Remember that you need to choose the correct software here. Merge the model to the file. I want to have 2 carpets here, but in this view, it will look better if we move one to the center. I think this gap between the racks will be too distracting. Now I will work on the material. It will be better to test it from another view, so we can actually move the carpets to the correct position. Here is the original material. First of all, I will replace this material with the chronophysical material. I will delete some maps that I will not use. Let's plug the bump map into the base bump slot, and we can use AO for the displacement. Start interactive rendering. Let's apply the material to the objects. Let's take a closer look at the material to see what is going on. We need to adjust the displacement. Next, we'll work on the glossiness. I will use the color correction map to make it more reflective. We can plug this map into the base color slot as well. Now I would like to have a bit of a different map on the rack. I think the course pattern will be nice. Let's do this now. Copy the gloss map, rotate it by 90 degrees, and scale it up using tiling options. Copy the color correction as well. Next, I will use Corona Mix and plug the maps into the slots. Choose the Overlay Mix operation and replace the map. I like the effect. It looks cool. We can add some color to the rack. Let's use Corona Mix and color Corona maps. I will use Overlay again. I would like the rack to be more beige than white. I want to have even more color. Let's decrease the top levels multiplier. Cool, I like it. That's it for this lesson. See you in the next one.